Hi, everybody. So, guess what I'm up to? I'm going to be doing a journey to Antarctica, and I'm going to be exploring anything Spirit wants to share about human history with Antarctica, anything about the energy or the frequency or whatever Spirit wants to share. But I'm going to do a journey to Antarctica. So, I'm going to relax here and then we'll see what comes. It's getting really intense, really dense energy. It's really has an exhausting feeling to it. I can't decide how it wants to show me the wisdom yet. It just keeps getting more and more dense, energetically dense. It feels exhausting. It feels like I'm trudging through really thick mud. It feels like even running through mud that's up to your knees, it's just very exhausting. There's a feeling of a teardrop running down a cheek and then falling. There's no sensation of ice right now. It's just energetically dense, and then I am experiencing what is a teardrop falling down the cheek and dropping to the ground. It's not so much about sadness or tears so much as the pattern, the unpredictable pattern. We don't know how the teardrop will decide to move down the cheek. It could go forward or it could move all the way over there. We don't know the pattern that the water droplet will take. It's unpredictable, so to speak. There's a heavy burden. Even I feel like I'm a slave right now. I feel exhausted. I feel like I have to carry something really ridiculously heavy or row a really heavy boat. Like just something really exhausting, labor intensive, and heavy. So they're showing me another picture. There's just very odd color movements. Like a pathway, a meandering pathway is sort of like a dark brown or purple color, and then there's sort of like a peach color in the center, just sort of meandering, and there's like a crocodile in the center. It's just very brief, very quick. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of value. We're just slowly making our way to something more extraordinary. Spirit is more so wanting me to do energy work here in Antarctica than learn about Antarctica on like a psychic wisdom level, more so do energy work there. So I tell Spirit, okay, where would you like me to just take me wherever you want me to heal that space? Again, this time there's tears falling, and this time it's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing. I'm also standing on the most ridiculous structure. It's a big loop. Okay, my mouth is matching my voice. Okay, so there's a big loop, like massive. It's in the sky. I'm in the clouds, standing on the top of a big loop, like a hula hoop. It's made out of silver. And then there's a huge loop that goes the other way. It almost looked like a path, but I'd have to walk upside down, or I'd have to walk. I'd have to defy gravity to walk down it. It's just a ridiculously enormous silver loop that goes in one direction, and the other is even bigger. It goes in the opposite direction. I'm standing in the clouds. I'm looking around. There's beautiful light here. There's sun that shines between the white, pure white clouds, and there's blue to the sky. There's something of how the light comes out is sort of like silvery and light in a white color. I mean, white light, I suppose you could call it silvery white, but you can see through it. It feels warm, it feels heavenly, it feels peaceful here. I feel like I want to sit on this wheel for a very long time and think. The wheel starts to spin backwards, but I'm not with the wheel. I'm sort of levitating just above it. I'm also a man as I'm doing this. There's a bird that quickly flies down to me, orange feathers. It's just a cartoon looks like the shape of a robin, but orange feathers. It's speaking to me about this. It's telling me instructions, a story. It's speaking to me. I'm absorbing the wisdom. I have nothing to translate about this conversation right now. The scene's starting to change. It's getting really awful again. Really dense feeling. I see a space that is made up of like a mud that is again on a wheel that is turning, but it's not. It's long ways and then turning around. I can hear the sound of like a crank moving or just pulling something up. It's sort of the sound of moving like a chain on a chain link. I don't know what that sound. I've heard this sound before. Sounds like cranking up like a like in a ship, like an anchor in a ship. It's like sounds like that in here. And it's really muddy on this. It's really muddy. It's like you can't have gears that are caked in goo. They won't turn very well. So this is really caked in goo. There's another gear. It's like looks like a gear, but it's made out of wood. Like a paddle. This too is very exhausting. Totally mute. My spirit guides aren't saying anything about what this is. They're just showing me the space. I'm starting to relax. I've been sharing energy with these two paddle wheels as I'm thinking about being on that big silver hoop where it was peaceful. The light felt really lovely. This too is getting exhausting. Everything's starting to break. There's a cracking, a huge loud cracking sound. It cracks for a very long time. You couldn't miss it. You know, there's like an earthquake that makes, there's certain like experience to an earthquake, rumbly, but here it's like earth, like splitting ice, the crack in ice that goes a long way and deep down too, deep down cracking sound. It's really loud. Like a snapping sound that just goes on forever. Really loud in your ear. It has a really deep, powerful essence to it. Almost like the power of the sound, it gives you chills. Everything goes quiet again. There's not a lot of sound here. There's not a lot of sound. There's not a lot of active energy other than dense, really ridiculously dense energy. Obviously, we're talking about water that is frozen into ice, sheets of ice. So you can imagine that the frequency is slowed way down. So we boil water and then it turns into steam. So water gets hotter, it gets faster, and then it turns into steam. So water cools down, it gets slower, and then it turns into ice. So there's something about the density it's very clearly dense here, and it's not very loud. There's this very silent energy, dense energy that is on mute. There's nothing to hear. I'm still looking for wisdom. I'm looking for facts, information. I'm looking for something to heal. But there's just a solidness. It feels like a heart that is frozen in ice. It feels like human hearts that are frozen in ice. Spirit shows me two different versions. They show me what is humanity, a society of human beings that are sort of, there's a numbness in the heart. I come across this all the time when I do journeys. It's amazing how many people turn their heart portals off, or how many people have been hurt in their heart, and so they try to cover their heart up, protect their heart, prevent their heart from getting broken again. So they're actually creating like sheets of ice around their heart, and that's not manifesting energy. That's scared, fear-based energy. So if you want to manifest joy, you want to manifest love, you have to be in gratitude and acceptance of everything that happens in your life. You can't hide your heart from the world. You actually have to allow that ice, that fear to melt away, and then expose the love that you are. Be the love that you are. So this one version of it is showing me Antarctica as a frozen heart. It's sort of turned off from the energy of love, so it's emotionless. It has no feelings. That's one version. But also another version is almost like there's human bodies in the ice. Like literally frozen hearts. Literally frozen hearts. Also history frozen in time. Sometimes they talk about the sands of time, or things lost to the sands of time, or we look at an hourglass and sort of discuss time through the metaphorically just through the sands. But in this case, it's frozen in time, history frozen in time, but not able to access it because it is buried in frozen ice. It's dense space. It is quiet. It is voiceless. It is frozen. It's emotionless. So I'm on the energetic side of Antarctica. I'm not actually on the surface level of Antarctica. So if I go to the surface level of our Antarctica, let's just do it for fun. I'm going to go to the surface level, energetic level of Antarctica, and we'll see what's there. So I'm going to start this. You can learn something from this. You can discover how you too can project anywhere you want to. There's different energy layers to everything. So for instance, there's a superficial layer. So the mindless things that we actually care about each and every day that really don't matter. That's an energetic superficial layer. That is like the quickest, easiest layer, energy layer to get through to on any human being is what is the most basic day-to-day mindless stuff that we actually care about. But then when you go deeper, you start to find the hidden secrets, to find the hidden aspects, what their energy balance is with real stuff that makes them feel vulnerable or ashamed or stupid or angry. That's going deeper. Now, going deeper than that, you can go into extremely deep layers, and now you're in past lifetimes, you're seeing soul fragment pieces, you're going into hell spaces. It just depends on what the wound is. You have a festering wound, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until the soul learns the lesson, the soul heals from it, the fragment is released, all that stuff. So it gets more and more painful until you choose acceptance, gratitude, you face your fears, all that kind of stuff. So this is what the shamanic journey is like. You can go to the superficial layers, go a little bit deeper than that, go a little bit deeper than that, go a little bit deeper than that, go a little bit deeper than that. You literally dive into the soul. So here in Antarctica, I started out by diving into Antarctica. I don't have a clue what I'm going to find there. I don't even know what spirit wants to share with us. But I'm going to just show you guys, I'm just going to go there just on the surface, the most like the forefront of Antarctica, the mindless stuff that matters with Antarctica. Let's go see what it's like. So the easiest way to do this, you pick a place, and it helps to already have like a little bit of knowledge. Okay, Antarctica is cold. So I'm going to actually go into a white snowy place that feels frigid. I'm going to touch the snow with my hand and I'm going to feel it. I'm going to feel my hand going numb because it's so cold. I'm going to experience the sound of the wind blowing. I'm going to experience the iciness. I'm going to experience the colors. So you start by doing that and you place the energetic intention into the universe that I am going to Antarctica. So you start with the basic stuff. Now you project yourself there. And you experience it, you feel it. Not only feel it as in touch it with your energy hand, lick it with your energy tongue, I don't know, fist it with your hand because you're mad at it, whatever you want to do, like kick the snow, build a snowman, but experience it as though you're actually there. Experience it as though you're actually there. And then you start to feel its feelings. Like a child feels the feelings of its teddy bear. The teddy bear is not alive, but yet the child feels as though it is alive. Child's learning about the feelings of another creation in a way that's safe for the child to even explore their own feelings. So as you're learning how to sort of do this stuff, you start by what you know, the basic stuff. Hands feel cold, body feels cold, wind, I hear the wind. You start exploring your five senses, but then you explore, how does it feel? Does it feel sad? Does it feel happy? Does it feel like nothing? Does it feel like it has nothing to say? Does it feel like it's hiding something? What does it feel like inside your heart when you're there? It's not just about Antarctica, it's about how Antarctica makes you feel when you're there. Sometimes we're around people that make us feel really uncomfortable. We don't even have a clue anything about that person, but for whatever reason, they make us feel uncomfortable. So either you trust your gut and say, there's something not jiving with me about that person, probably need to move on. Or you ignore them or whatever you want to do, but you get feelings about things and you got to start trusting in the feelings. You're psychic. Everybody is psychic. This is how you start developing your psychic ability, by doing stuff like this. Just doing little exercises like this and experiencing this stuff. So going to Antarctica's superficial layer. The most upper layer. When I go there, I'm taken to a space, obviously I'm kind of well learned at this stuff, so I'm not on the beginner's level. I'm already there. I've already done all the exploring stuff in a single instant, and there's a man standing here. There's a spiritual man here. He's got dark blue. It's like he's got a black cape on with dark blue underneath it, and there's some purple. He is in the distance. There's cold winds blowing. He's not a man. He's a woman. It's a woman. A woman with a black cape. She's got something covering her hair, her head, kind of like Snow White with the witch, the evil queen or whatever. She has in the old Disney books, she has some sort of thing around her head, and then she wears a crown on top of it. There's some sort of thing she's got, a black thing really tight to her head. Really noticeable lips. White skin. She's still at a distance, and then there's like a blowy sensation, so it's hard to see all the details about her. She can't decide whether or not she is at peace with the cold, or if she is in hatred and pushing herself into a space that is cold, sort of rejecting the world. I'm reading her heart right now. So in her heart, I can explore what her consciousness is. I can explore how she is feeling. Why is she there? What is her motivation? There's some part of her consciousness that is imbalanced. Part of it is sort of self-punishing and then removing from the active world into a space where there's no life, no existence, nobody there, nothing. Just totally removing herself. Also, there's something about the numbness that she also kind of enjoys punishment. She enjoys pain. She enjoys hurting herself. There's something of this. She likes to feel the piercing, like skin ripping pain of the cold. Like there's some perfect moment, pinnacle moment when she feels like ecstatic in the way that the cold pain hurts. It feels good to her. So she's not really in balance with love. She's in balance with hurts on the inside that are causing her to have these actions. She seems surprised that I'm there. She seems like she's been there for a long time and nobody's visited her. But she hasn't necessarily wanted anyone to visit her. Spirit's telling me this is important. This interaction. I'm actually getting cold. I'm actually like my body is starting to get a little shivery. I stop the wind from blowing. I say it is time for me to see you now. She really does give off the effect of like Snow White's evil stepmother or whatever. I mean, she really does. The old school version, she really gives off that effect. She has really piercing eyes. Really angry, piercing eyes, blood red lips, pale white skin. She has a very sinister look to her. She is much taller than me. She's got a black crow or raven, some type of bird. She has a magical side to her. She shows me she has some sort of large pearl on a stick. I mean, it's a large orb and it's got a pearly effect to it, but it's more like a creamy pink color than a white. She's got really intense green eyes. It's very cold. It's making me feel very cold. She shows me that she can move energy in different wisps. Some of the energy goes in a loop around her arm, around her shoulder, and she can move the loop like a lasso around her body. And it goes in colors of like orange and pink, and it moves around her, and then it goes in front of her, sort of magical. And then the loop, the single ring, kind of the colors merge and creates an orb with dimension, a dimensional orb, a sphere. I say, whoop-de-doo, what are you going to do with that? I don't know why, I'm just absolutely not impressed by this. I say there's nothing you can do. You can do those parlor tricks in front of me all day long, but you're the one that's living in Antarctica. You're the one removed yourself from life. You're the one that's out here. You're the one who likes to endure the pain. I say, do you know why I came here? She says to me, it's on the level of she's not exactly what I think she is yet. I don't know the whole story yet, not to judge her just yet. She says there's more to the story. I'm telling you, it's cold. This could take a while. Brace yourself. Relax. This could take a while. We will find out. There's something about this. Now it's starting to ring a bell that Snow White's name is Snow White. And now I'm starting to connect the dots here. Snow White. She herself is Snow White. She herself is Snow White. But she looks more like the evil stepmother kind of thing. She takes off this binding and she has extremely jet black hair. It's really thick and wavy. Really, really thick and long and wavy. I mean, she is absolutely stunning to look at. Like, you don't see women with pale white skin and jet black hair. You just don't. And blood red lips and green eyes. I mean, she is from another planet. She is really stunning to look at. She's just a beautiful figure. She's really tall. I mean, she is in the 6 foot range easy, maybe almost 7 foot tall. She's really tall. She's got a beautiful figure. She really loves this raven bird. She shows me something with an emerald looking rock. It's not it's not like for jewelry. It's like the emerald rock. It's big and it's breaking and cracking. She really is sad. She really is sad on the inside. I ask her if she would like to know what it is like to feel warm. I tell her I'm feeling really cold here. She doesn't respond to that. So I'm continuing to look at this emerald that cracked. It's getting a really, really intense, rich green color. It was faded out more than I realized, but oh my gosh, it's starting to glow. The most intense, rich green color I've ever seen. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's like the greenest grass you could possibly imagine, and then just light it up and make it more vibrant still. How could it be so vibrant? It's so beautiful. It's like the rock. It's not chiseled into like a perfect gemstone or something. But it's a glowing. It's gorgeous. It keeps getting more rich in color. It feels like it's kind of moving out from inside the ground, coming out. She stands tall. She has expectations. She's really showcasing the role of being a ruler. This is some sort of fine gems. This emerald, this massive, ridiculously massive emerald, is nothing to her. Like mining or digging for these sacred stones, or somehow this is very common for her to have access to these types of earth gifts. She really stands tall, really stands up straight, and looks straight ahead. She's not someone who would look down. Unless she was looking down to speak to you, but even then she would still, it's almost like she would look straight ahead and she would not, I mean, you are less than her. This is sort of her demeanor, but it's also part of her role to be that. That is her mannerism, is part of her role. Seriously, I'm getting cold. I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting really cold. It's hard to keep up with this. Chill. I'm like, do you want to know what it feels like to be warm? I can show you. I can. Then I can feel warm. The answer is no. She does not want to know what it's like. She just doesn't. She just ignores me. She does not care about that question. I mean, she's standing up very tall. There's something else to this. It hasn't come to me yet. Things are just starting to soften and relax. I keep thinking about Grand Empire, like Egypt, ancient Egypt, or Atlantis, or like super grand, like Rome, or something of that kind, like a super grand empire. It's exhausting. It's exciting, but it's exhausting. Shows me there's much more buried here. She pulls out what is like a scroll, like a Dead Sea Scroll, but it's an Antarctica one. And she pulls it out. She hands them to me. She shows me really large ships that have sailed there. Really, really massive, large, like pirate ships. Big, big ships. Really big. They seem even bigger than a pirate ship. They just seem really big. Like totally natural to go there. Like a normal stop. Like I would definitely go there. There feels like there's lush land and riches. Like it would be a hot spot location. Like it would be like prime real estate location kind of thing. It's beautiful. There's a real essence of it being very beautiful. There's some sort of interaction we're having. My human brain does not know what it's about. She's putting through lots of pictures so fast I don't know what any of them are about. Again with the energy of sorrow. Again with the suffering and the pain. And it feels like slaves in suffering and pain. It feels like slaves being whipped. I keep thinking of having to row a massive boat. I feel like I'm a slave and there's blood. Not everything is about that though, because I'm telling you there's something really lush, really vibrant, luxurious feeling, but there's also something of feeling like I'm a slave being whipped and ordered to do things. And it's painful and there's suffering. There's a man that they keep showing me this man. He's got a tan. His hair is brown, but it's got some blonding from the sun. He's got his teeth are rotted. He's just totally. His skin has scars on it from being whipped. Really awful ones. He has hardly any clothes on, just a cloth around his waistline. His teeth are just really rotted. What's the age? I would say maybe 30s. He looks much older than that, though. He looks really worn out, like leather, worn out leather or something. I just keep thinking of leather that's dried out and cracked and worn and useless. And that's what I keep thinking about, useless things. As though people are useless things. Worn out, dried out leather. She still possesses that attitude, is still a part of her demeanor. She does have a deep-hearted side, but she's also really sinister and not very nice to people of a lower class. She really does have loving feelings, though, despite that behavior. She could gaze out the window and dream about meeting the most beautiful man and what it could be like to fall in love while kicking another man while he's down and spitting in his face and seeing him as a worthless piece of trash. She could be both. She could be both radiant, romantic, and loving, and also spiteful and just rude and evil. Like, she's just rude, just very not nice. There's a conversation about leaving this man to rot and die. It's time to go. We don't have time for this. The man is so tired. This man is not, he's worn out. He's at the end. He's got nothing, no battery life left. He's been pushed beyond his limits. I mean, he looks really old, but I would maybe gauge like in the 30s. It's been getting warmer and warmer, I've noticed. Not feeling so cold as I was. It's just getting more and more relaxing even. Feels more tropical. I feel like I've been on the beach. I feel like a warm sun. I feel like Egypt. I feel like hot desert sand. But it just feels really like a paradise. Feels like that. She really has an awful sinister side. She shows me going down into like a dungeon place and taking part, like there's some type of really sharp chain that has sharp, and then putting it in someone's neck really tight and then choking them out with the sharp pieces going in. There's some sort of joy she experiences when she kills people like that. I mean, I'm telling you, she's getting a really happy sensation, and it's almost sexual. It's like pure radiant joy. Like there's nothing more beautiful than this. Your version of heaven, with everybody happy-go-lucky, having a great time, loving each other. That's for wussies. That's for, that's not her style. Her style is heaven is when I am killing somebody. That is my joy. And then standing up straight and tall and expecting people to obey me, and then being able to kick people when they're down and treat them like worthless pieces of trash. This is very much so her heaven. She's in heaven in this state. This is natural for her. This is her natural state of heaven. She's also very manipulative. She can feel love, though, despite. But she wouldn't be able to override her insatiable love for manipulation. So I can't imagine any type of relationship would... I mean, maybe it would work out because she wouldn't really express her true self, her true dark nature, or maybe she would... There's nothing being said. I'm only speculating about her as I'm learning about her heart and her feelings and her personality. They keep insisting she has no... human life is not of the value to her. Human life has very little value. But what humans do for her is the value. And she can always find more humans to do more things for her. So what's one pitiful, pathetic, dried out, cracked piece of leather? Like, what is one exhausted slave? It's getting more and more warm. It's getting hotter. It's getting noticeably warmer. It's getting peaceful. It's getting very, very warm. It's like all of the ice is melting. I'm telling her the ice in your heart is melting too. I tell her again, the ice in your heart is melting too. As I touch her heart. She is both irritated by that statement, insistent that her heart is not melted and that she is in joy and balance with the frigid air. But she also knows that it is time for her to move on, her consciousness to move on. So she also is saying, yes, my heart is melting. The raven gets mad at me. I say the ice in your heart is melting, raven. That's very disruptive. What is happening right now? Basically, her energy and the raven's energy started to merge into each other and starts to sort of grab and move and pull, and like taffy energy moving in weird directions and screaming. It's hard to explain what's happening right now. I've been sort of winding them up into like a sphere, an orb. And as I'm doing that, she's still standing there, sort of laughing and saying how I am not able to contain her. And then she's sort of moving the orb I created in and out and around her, like she was showing me with the rings. And she's starting to change her face, too. She's starting to look like the evil stepmother in Cinderella. The sinister personality. Heartless, sinister. I'm not going to call her that anymore. I'm going to say you're full of heart. You're a beautiful and kind woman. I show her raven is a parrot. Parrot that can sing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I show her how warm her heart is and how it makes me think of love and Valentine's Day. I show her how loved she is by so many souls that she forgot about. I remind her of what happiness and joy and laughter sound like, and how she has heard that before, and how she was also laughing and being joyful and cracking jokes and making people feel warm inside their hearts. I remind her what love feels like, and I say love, love, love. Love is warm, love is happy, love is sincere, love is kind. I welcome that man that is the dried out leather to stand and come towards her. I welcome him to say, I forgive you for the way you treated me, that your soul can heal now and return into the light. She's starting to transform. I welcome all the slaves to come onto the beach and to acknowledge her and to forgive her for her choices and her actions. This one that she was choking out, I bring him back to life. I walk him onto the beach. I have him stand before her and tell her, I forgive you. I still love you with all my heart, and I will always love you for all times. All the slaves say that to her. Every grain of sand starts to say that to her. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved. Come home to heaven, you are loved. She is letting go of lots of energy, old energy. It's very dense and heavy. It shoots out the back side of her. It's removing energy from her third eye. She is caked full of some really awful energies. I show her she's not the evil stepmother, she is Cinderella. I say that you really do find magic. You really do find the love of your life. The love in your heart is real. Love in your heart does help you find your Prince Charming. And your dreams really do come true. And they help to melt away all of that anger and upset and the self-torturing punishment you are enduring. You do not have to do this to yourself anymore. You do not have to enjoy the blistering pain, because deep down inside you know that's not joy. And pain has never been joy. She's really, really starting to have natural tears, to cry naturally. She's starting to discover her warmth again. She's starting to realize that she actually cared more about that dried up leather man than she wanted to admit to anybody. There was something about him that she always felt love in her heart. It wasn't for her to care about that man. It was for her to scold him, even when he had no life left. That was her role. They say you can forgive yourself. She says, I don't want to hurt people anymore. She shows me a screaming sound of dark energy turning into a funnel and going up into the clouds, into the heavenly light, into the warm sun. She is releasing all kinds of energy out of her body. Gobs and gobs and gobs of dark ingested energies going out in a long, long, long time, leaving her. She is ready to move on. She is so thankful that I came for her. They say this is what kindness does. It inspires people to help others. And guess what? I just helped you. And now you can go on to help others the way I helped you. You know what love is. And you can choose love that is warm now. It's so almost unbelievable, but there's whole enormous orbs coming up and out of the ground and going into the light. Huge, lots and lots and lots and lots of orbs coming out of the earth ground and going up into the light. Massive ones. I mean, size of 10-story building or something. Huge orbs, big spheres. Yellowy see-through color, orangey see-through color. Going up. Some of them are smaller, like the size of a car. There's really big ones, though. There really are hidden, really special hidden things in Antarctica. That is very clear. Even what would be like a whole ancient civilization, like in Atlantis or Lemuria, like a total ancient civilization. I'm a bit startled by how, I mean, it's more like really aligned with Egypt, really aligned with Egyptian behaviors. It's just the way that they always seem to have been really ridiculously stern rulers, really absent caring of people in low status. But for Egyptians, it feels more like Egyptians, like the elite. They were born that way. They were born as elite. It was their God-given right to be. And then if you were born a slave, that is as you were meant to be. So they have a right to treat you as you were meant to be treated. And then you have a right to be treated as you were meant to be treated. So there's no hard feelings about it. But they go way too far with it. They forget that we're still human beings. It's not about class. It's about the reality that we're all human beings. But very much so that type of style. The fact that she is a female ruler is an important part of the message. She was quite ruthless. But she's not. She's totally transformed energy. So I'm not going to call her that. I'm going to call her what she is, which is a kind and beautiful, spiritual, divine feminine energy of love and healing and warmth. This is simply at the surface. This is the quickest and the easiest layer to get to. This is at the surface of Antarctica. When I go deep, I always go deeper. The reason I go instantly dive deeper is because when you can go really, really, really deep down, you can heal the deeper stuff, and then that heals everything up at the surface. That is a direct reaction based on whatever that owie is. So there's a wound way deep down inside of you. If all I'm healing is way up here, then I'm not actually getting to the deepest wound. The deepest wound that is actually manifesting all the problems that are like at the superficial layer, the easiest stuff to get to. So you got to go beneath the easiest stuff to get to the worst stuff. You heal that, and now you heal everything above that. You heal all the other layers. All the other layers just transform and heal. So that was interesting. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to share this as it is, and I'll let you guys decide what you want to make of it. It's kind of fun just to journey to places and see what's there, and then also just to give you like a little bit of a lesson on how you can do this yourself, how you can easily journey anywhere and explore the wisdom, explore the echo, explore the energy, explore the feeling, and learn about yourself, learn about the world, learn about the way things make you feel. That's what spirituality, that's what spiritual journeying, that's what psychic explorations are all about. They're all about discovery, self-discovery and worldly discovery, and it's about sort of exploring the way things make you feel. Is it feel that way because Abbey feels a certain way? Or does it feel that way because it actually is that way? That's the fascinating question, isn't it? Because we're all reflections of each other. So what is the answer to that? What is a journey state? The interesting reality is when you do this work, it makes a difference. When you do this work, you can hear what is true love and what is deception, what is manipulation. You can hear those sounds. When you do journey work into the spirit realm, you can't be manipulated by the spirit realm because it always is consistent. Its energy is always consistent. So you just have to hear every single note in the symphony in order to discover what its truth is. And sometimes if you can't hear all the sounds, then you have to start exploring a storyline, and then you project the storyline out and you hear what the echo is that comes back. There's always an echo that comes back. So when I do journey work, I explore the way things make me feel, just like I'm doing in this Antarctica exploration. I explore the way things make me feel, and then I do energy work to transform it. Obviously, Antarctica is a massive space that's very dense and frozen, so how am I exactly supposed to heal it? Am I supposed to melt it? What am I supposed to do? Something with those orbs was releasing some old hurts and pains that were stored in the earth in that space, so releasing that into the light. Whoever that energy, that entity, that consciousness was, really had a powerful influence, enough that had created like a scabby wound in the planet. So helping her to feel better, helping that consciousness to feel better, it could be Mother Earth that I was healing. Maybe Mother Earth was sort of transforming into something angry, and then hurting inside. I don't know. That this is all the echo, the reality of the bigger picture of energy that manifests our physical reality. This is real stuff that manifests our physical reality. You can explore this on your own simply by saying, well, what does depression manifest? More depression, and then alcohol abuse, and then you don't have any friends, and then it pushing people away, hating yourself, cutting yourself. That's what depression manifests. What does joy manifest? Joy manifests friendships and loved ones and family members and generosity and happiness and vacations and abundance. Love manifests those things. So energy manifests. So you hear the sound of the energy and then you help it to find its way back to love again. Because love is the energy that we all want more of. unless you're twisted and you really like the energy of pain and suffering, and that's your reflection of love, then obviously you're different, in a different state of being than others of us. We really like actual love. We don't like really twisted love. Like, we kind of like real love. So you help those frequencies find their way back to real love. So once you start doing this work like I do, it's really easy. It's really easy to go in, but you have to find yourself. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to try. You have to experience. You have to explore your feelings and know there is no wrong answer. A picture holds 1,000 words. That means anybody could look at that picture and see a totally different thing and totally different meaning, totally different feelings about that on the human level. But when you go in the spiritual level, it's interesting to see how the spiritual level looks between me and then, for instance, my friend Joseph. He's also done a journey to Antarctica. He did not tell me what he experienced in Antarctica, so I have no freaking clue what his journey to Antarctica was like. And I won't know because he's on a trip right now. So he's out, he's like uncontactable. So I just did my Antarctica journey. This is what happened. So I'll be curious to see what his spiritual interpretation is from his perspective. We need everybody's perspective. We're all pieces of the puzzle. We need everybody's perspective to get to know the bigger picture, to see Antarctica from all of its sides. I'll see Antarctica from a certain side that is a reflection of my energy, my understanding, my spiritual totality, all that I am. And Joseph will see his own unique side. And we'll all see our own unique sides. The cool thing is when you can start comparing notes and be like, oh my gosh, I saw that too. It was like that for me as well. That's why I love doing journeys with Joseph, so we can kind of compare notes and see what was the same and what was different. So as soon as Joseph gets his video out there, I'll come back and put a link in this one. I'm not always the best at doing it right away. Eventually I will. But if you don't want to wait on me to do it, okay, my video is not keeping up with me. Okay. Yes. So if you don't want to wait for me to put a link in this video to Joseph's video, just go to the channel, the YouTube channel, Amon Ross, AMON space ROS, and then just see what's there and just subscribe. And then you can keep up with it on your own, because he posts videos there. I post some videos out there too. And then I post videos here as well. I'm all over the place. Just you wait. I'm probably going to have more YouTube channels in the future. You'll be able to find me everywhere. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Really interesting and different. I hope you've learned something. I hope you had fun. I hope you take away some how-to stuff and give it a try yourself. And if you do, you should add some comments on what your experience was. Go visit Antarctica. Just go to the experience of being there and see what happens. You might be surprised to discover spirit there or an animal there that you can talk to and pet and discover that it's more than just an animal. It's actually an angel. This is the way you start opening up your psychic senses and communicating with the spirit realm. It's extraordinary stuff. All right, that's it. All right, well, thank you so much for watching my video. If you're interested in doing any psychic sessions with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a wonderful day.